Ollie.
Go! Yay! Finally!
Yay!
Hello, everyone. Sorry for keeping you in the waiting line or whatever.
Yeah, and
we
sorry
had-
for not able to turn the phone.
Yeah, it's fine. Nobody would have noticed that because I did the editing magic. So you are perfectly fitting the frame. So yeah, here we are at Binding's live stream, and I see that I'm too loud today, and today just today. Today our guest is Bep van Gasteren from the Netherlands, and a bookbinder and bookbindering.
No.
I know.
How did you live in the Netherlands and still not speaking Dutch? Bookbinder.
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 So no feminists. Okay.
Not bookbinderin. That's German.
Sorry.
You know how we feel about.
Sorry.
So that's correct to everyone.
Okay.
So yeah, okay, bookbinder and boxmaker. I guess that will work as well.
Yes.
Yeah. Sorry for I'm closing.
I don't think we have time to talk about boxes today.
Yeah.
Because you have another guest, don't you?
Yeah. Well, we have a colleague. We can call him a guest probably. He's our staff member, staff researcher, and he has some things to tell us. So yeah. So anyway, Bep is our guest today. We will talk about creative binding, maybe something else. We'll see how it goes. We have something like 45 minutes with Bep. I hope. Not counting these 10 minutes that we were like already lost at the beginning. And my co-host Pavel joins us from Belgrade, from Serbia.
Yeah.
Hopefully he's fixed for a bit there, staying in place. Well, you're going back to Bulgaria for the Christmas, so yeah. What am I saying?
Yeah, for the Christmas and the New Year. So yeah,
it's pretty soon.
You are not fixed. So
yeah,
where are you still?
I'm absolutely not fixed. Yeah, we went to Warsaw to Warsaw earlier this week to get our American visas because in Paris the waiting time was 540 days to get an appointment in 540 540 540 days
for a visa
for an American visa.
Yeah,
it's because we are not European citizens, and for European citizens, for most of the European citizens, you have an electronic visa process and it's easy and fast. For us, we need to go and have a собеседование, how you call it? You have to talk to a person to explain yourself. Why do you want to go to the United States? We had to do that. And in France, the nearest appointment was in January 2024. So my Sofia found the solution, and we went to Poland, and it was much faster there, and we got our visas approved, and we just got our notices earlier today that our passports are ready for pickup. So we're going to New York, to Boston. We will meet with Richard Minsky. We will meet with Peter Garrity. We will probably meet with some other people as well. And I hope so. At least that's the plan, to meet with all of these people.
If you're going to Philadelphia, are you going to Philadelphia?
I don't. I'm not sure yet.
You can also meet Heidi Kyle.
Yeah,
that's the grand old lady of creative bookbinding, and she's been to the Netherlands.
Mm-hmm.
There was a meeting with her, so I wanted to go there very much, but there was a system that the meet and greet was so many people, and I was too late. So another dream went up in smoke.
Well, next time. Next time. So anyway,
next time she's in her 80s, so I don't think there will be a next time.
Okay,
perhaps.
Okay. Yeah. And now so we're in Berlin for a couple of days.
Journey ahead.
Yeah, and
in the US.
Tomorrow we go back to Warsaw, and then we go back to France to Versailles. And, anyway.
Busy boys, busy.
Yeah. So we already have some viewers, some comments. Richard Minsky says hi on Facebook. So
yeah.
I just mentioned him. Hi. And also
is he inviting you to stay with him at home?
He invited us to have a dinner and a drink, so that's already quite nice.
Okay.
Yeah,
shall I begin?
Yeah, sure, absolutely.
And I have long stories. I've been a teacher all my life, so this is just what I'm doing now.
Just a short notice. If anyone has any questions, please ask them. Post comments. Richard Minsky wrote that Heidi Kyle is upstate New York these days, so it may be a bit too far away for us.
Okay.
We'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see.
I mention her later because I want to tell something about her and the structures she made.
So anyway, if anyone has any comments, please post them either on Facebook or on YouTube. We'll try to answer them if we can. If we cannot, we'll keep them for our next guest to punish them for not being with us today. And please check the links. There are links to our social accounts, Patreon. You can support us with your money, which is important, of course, for us because we may pay our researcher and our editors with this money. And there is also, TikTok account, Discord server. There is also a link to Bep's Instagram account, and there are a lot of interesting things. And on YouTube, and there is also you're also tagged.
And I have a YouTube channel
on YouTube. So
and I have a website.
A lot of stuff, and let's start. So creative bookbinding. What's that? Yeah. Why are we here today? What's happening?
I started about 15 years ago with bookbinding, with traditional classical bookbinding. It was a hobby then because I had work as a teacher. And I was working at once a week at a bookbinding studio with a teacher and a group of students. And I liked it very much. But after a while, I thought I would like to stay home and do something bookish at home in my own cozy craft room and then make some books. But I don't have all the equipment. So what can I do about it? And my bookbinding teacher, she showed me this book.
Just keep it a bit higher, please. Yeah, perfect.
Close by.
Yeah, that's fine.
Moet van u. It's a book by Keith Smith. He wrote about 6 books, and they're all about non-adhesive bindings. This is volume 2, which I like the most. And here you can find 1, 2, and 3 sections sewing. A section is a signature. I don't know. US uses other terms than the UK.
Well, they will figure it out.
Yeah, I bought this book and I thought, now that's nice. I'm going to make something out of it. And then I make this box.
Again, a bit higher.
Bookbinder, of course.
Yeah, perfect.
With all kinds of bindings by Keith Smith, like this one. This is called, these are the 3 sections. Yes, I practice this.
Again.
Yeah, you need to keep it at the level of your face because I cropped your image so that maybe a bit closer to your head.
Now? Can you see it?
A bit closer to your head, not as close to the camera, just a bit further away. Yeah, perfect.
But you can't see the figure then.
We can see everything. Yeah, perfect.
So it's all of this. It's a braid.
Yeah.
And it has 3 sections. And it's made of Zaansbord. This is the decal edge.
Yeah.
This is terrible.
You'll get used to it.
Is,
deckled paper.
You know Zaansbord, don't you?
Yeah.
It's made by Dutch Windmill. This one.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's a very sturdy paper. And I know if I play something on Facebook, I make a lot of soundboard books, and I play something on Facebook, and everyone is always, oh, where do you buy it? Where do you buy it? Well, you buy it in the Netherlands, but
as you should do, like for centuries, like it was done for years and years.
Yeah, indeed. And
is it like the American Constitution was printed on Dutch paper or something like that? So yeah.
No, I just wanted to tell you that.
Oh, sorry, I ruined everything.
But the shipping costs are very high, so people are a bit afraid of buying it in the Netherlands. This is. Can you see that this is orange?
Yeah.
Oh, zo moet je zien. Zo.
Ja.
Oh.
Ja, want anders dan kan hij niet scherp stellen.
Oh yeah. There are many colors. I'll show you a couple. Ja, dat kunnen ze wel zien.
Nice. Yeah.
I know the blues are made from blue jeans, and the green is made from surgery clothing.
Oh, so they recycle.
Yeah, it's recycled. It's made out of old clothes.
Perfect.
So if you have a nice color, it has to be cotton. If you have a nice color of a blouse or something like that, you can give it to the miller, and he is going to make something nice, some nice paper of it.
Just as it was centuries ago. There were those ragmen who used to go on the streets and collecting old rags and making paper out of it.
Making paper of it, yeah. I have a link for you, Pavel, because I know... excuse me. I have a link for you because I know in Canada, in Toronto, in the French-speaking part of Canada, there is a mill as well, and they also make paper the same way as the Zaanse Mode, and it's called St. Armand's paper.
Mm-hmm.
So if you Google this, can you see it?
A bit higher, yeah. St. Armand's, yeah.
St. Armand's paper.
Mm-hmm.
You get a link to the website, and people who are in the US or in Canada can order it there, and I think that will take the shipping costs down.
Yeah, Pavel will post a link in the chat in a moment.
Yeah.
I will make a short interruption because we have a lot of comments on YouTube and Facebook. You attracted a lot of attention, Bep, so thank you. So on YouTube we have Carla Jean. Good morning from California. Nice to have you here, Carla. Terry Power, well, no worries, happy to be here. That's about the technical issues. Terry, nice to have you here as well. Daria Wilber, hello from Mexico. I think Daria has joined us before, so not the first time with us. Ruth N, a big hello from Ottawa, Canada. Betty Harwell, Nashville, Tennessee. And then 19 Astarte 43. We also much to Keith Smith. That's true. I also have several of his books, and they're quite amazing. Carl Jean also wrote, I'm working out of his non-adhesive binding volume 1 right now, Long Stitch. And then on Facebook also some messages. Well, I read you the Richard Smith messages about Eddie as well. Nancy Eckerly, greetings from Wisconsin. So pleased to hear Bep's story. Thank you, Bep, for telling us your story.
Nancy for a long time. So hi, Nancy.
Then. Neveris, I'm not sure how to pronounce it. It's Miller. Hi from Germany. Shame on me. It's the first time I really managed to watch one of your talks. Thanks to COVID, as I have to stay isolated at home at the moment. Oh, sorry. We're so sorry to hear that. We'll hope you get well soon and it goes without any problems for you. Anna S. Kings, hello from Scotland. Yay! And Ellen Hoselin. Hi from Hoselin. Hi from the Netherlands. I used to be a student.
She's been one of my students.
Bep van Gasteren.
That's what she said. Yeah.
Yeah, Victoria Caruthers. Hello from East Hampton, Massachusetts. Are you meeting with Peter Garrett in East Hampton? I would love to meet you both in person. I live down the street from here. Well, yes, we hope to meet Peter if everything works out, because it's Christmas time. We'll be in the US from the 20th of December until the 28th, and we spent the first 3 days in New York, and then we go to Pennsylvania, visit Richard Minsky, hopefully, if everything works out, and we will probably make some photos there and videos for to share with you, and then we will drive from Richard to hopefully meet Peter and other people in Boston area. So just send me a message, Stepan Chizhov on Facebook. There, I should be somewhere there, and I will try to arrange something. Nancy Ackerley also wrote, unfortunately, Senar Bonds is very low and may stop making paper. That's upsetting.
So everybody should buy it now.
Yeah. Françoise Vogelsang.
That's my teacher, by the way.
Hoi Bep. So hi Bep. Yes. And Sieglinde Vollmann, Bep for president. Lots of love from Belgium.
A lot of love there.
A lot of nice people there. So we can continue now, I guess. Creative bookbinding. We were just derailed a bit.
Okay, so I made this box with all the Keith Smith bindings, and I started looking for more bindings to make because I liked it very much. And if there are people out there who also want to make bookbinding with special stitches, I always advise make a sample. A piece of cardboard will do. This is a cornflakes package.
A bit higher.
So make a sample.
A bit higher. Yeah, perfect. Thank you. Sorry.
Make a sample, because if there are difficulties, and you make it on a piece of cardboard, you understand where the difficulties are, and then you can go for the real thing. So I have quite a collection of all these samples and all these special bindings. And so these all are not in the books of Keith Smith. And if you want to look on YouTube and you want to make a very easy books, here's another link for you on YouTube, Sea Lemon.
Yeah.
She has very understandable tutorials, and she tells also some of Keith Smith, and she tells you all about.
We also hope to see her on our live stream one day. We had a discussion with her, and she agreed preliminary, but well, it's always scheduling issues, mostly on our side. But anyway,
because creative bookbinding is, well, the difference between creative bookbinding and the classic bookbinding, sometimes the difference is just a very thin line, and sometimes it's a big gap. And I think these books that I showed you so far are not so far away from the traditional bookbinding. Now, I always try to make my books look more beautiful. And
but do you want to be further away from the traditional bookbinding, or it's okay to you for you to be somewhere near?
I don't care. I really don't care. I don't do any classic bookbinding anymore because for me it doesn't work. It makes me very unhappy. All these steps you have to follow, and working with leather. I'm a vegetarian, and I refuse to work with leather. So.
Bep, sorry, can I ask you about that? Because we've had some discussions about that with colleagues, and I've been asking everyone this simple question. Do you think there is such a thing as an ethically sourced leather?
Or I know there's vegetarian leather. I know that there is.
but it's not very good to work with, from what I hear. But can you ethically source leather from an animal, or do you think it's not even possible if it's treated well, if it's lived its life?
No, I'm not.
No, that's my opinion too. I have to say.
I did once a class at Marja Wilgenkamp in Blokker in the Netherlands, and there was a Swedish bookbinder, Monica Langbeck, and she had reindeer skin, and it was for 3 days on a table for people to buy and to work with, and I was 3 days nauseous as well as hell, and it was terrible. I thought, oh, take it away.
And also, what about fish leather?
No, it was reindeer leather.
No, what do you think about fish
either?
Leather?
No, I'm not into fish either. So, okay, now I'm moving on. This is a book in a case I made because I want to make my books look very pretty. And I also like very much to embroider.
Can you show it to us?
Needlework.
Can you show it to us? Yeah.
Here it comes.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That's something that you do a lot. That's something that you do a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. I like embroidery. This is an old pattern from a 1790 book. It's a Quaker pattern. Quakers were a religion group, of still are. I don't know. And
yes,
still are.
They still very much are.
And in those days, they were very keen on education of girls. Well, I'm always go for it.
Yeah.
And so the girls learned how to write, how to read, some math, and embroidery. And I have not a whole book, but some pages of it with all kinds of samples they could pick to embroider, because in the end they had to be good housewives, of course. So this is from that old book. And it has some colors, and I try to let that come back in the binding.
You can keep it a bit further away, and then we'll see it in full. Yeah, like that. Perfect. Thank you.
And actually, I wanted to add about the Quakers. They were not only about making housewives; they were educating girls to become preachers. Some of the very first Christian preachers in modern days come from the Quakers, and there were.
You mean female Christian preachers? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. They were mostly very young women, and also they had female bookbinders. So even more connection there.
I even like them more now. Now, talking about this was inlaid. This book was inlaid, so you have to make a frame where you can put the embroidery in. So I did some more about that. This is a quilt technique.
I have one of these. I bought it for my wife a year ago.
No, you don't have this one. I will show you which one you have.
But it's pretty similar.
Can you see this? Can you see the 3D?
Yeah, for sure.
Because it's so nice. This is the quilt technique, not from the Quakers, but just from me. The quilters do it with fabric, and I did it with ribbon, satin ribbon. So it's also shiny and it's very nice.
Interlaced, yeah.
Yeah. It's triaxial weaving, and I show you. I'm busy with this one now, so this is how it looks.
Oh, I see.
You put vertical ribbons, and then you start weaving. This is one X. Then you start weaving a second X and a third X. This is the weaving from the third X.
And how do you then fix it? Do you glue it to the
Aha! I expected that question. You pick up a nice piece. So there's a lot of rest material. You pick up a nice piece. You tape it. And then you put the pins out. It's very, very delicate because some of my students made this and they took the pins out and whoosh, all the ribbons as well. So that's not a smart idea. And this one isn't ready. I have to frame it. Again, you have to frame it in the book. And I use 1 millimeter cardboard, 2 pieces. Mm-hmm. And then I cut a window out, and I cut another window out where the outside is laid in. Mm-hmm. And on the inside, it looks like this.
Yeah, a bit higher.
Yeah, a bit higher.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So it's flush.
What do you say?
It's flush. It's just a flat surface on the inside.
Yeah. Yeah. Here's another one. This is another pattern. This one is called hexagons.
It's hexagons, yeah.
Yeah, and this one is called the tumbling blocks. And
I like how the light plays on it. It's so shiny.
There was an early PC game, I think Bird Jumper or something like that. That reminds me. This pattern reminds me of this game because you had to jump on this pyramid of sorts, and it looked like that.
Yeah. And here's the book you bought for me.
Okay.
Last year.
Yeah, I was mistaken.
I know you were.
I wanted to get that book, I think, and it was sold out or something. Anyway,
this is so psychedelic.
Sold out.
This one is also nice.
Is it made in the same technique?
No, this is folding. It's called iris folding. Iris because of the iris of your eye, or in the middle it looks a bit like an eye in the middle, because it's spiraling. If you look on internet on iris folding, then you find a lot of examples that you can make. It's mostly made, people make cards of this, postcards and Christmas cards, and there are a lot of holiday themed ontwerpen. What is that? Holiday themed things.
Yeah.
Well. Yeah. Now this is folding, and also you will have to frame it in the book, and then in fact this is the end paper of the book.
Oh, okay.
And I have this also. Here I did it as well because
designs.
Oh, designs, yeah. I put it here as well because I want it to look symmetrical. Mm-hmm. Now, talking about folding.
Let me do another interruption. Before you talk about this amazing book. Before you talk about this amazing book. Yeah, I have this book, by the way. So now now I understand the connection. Perfect. So more from YouTube. Carla Jean C. Lemon is a very good teacher, very accessible, and that's true. And that's good that you mentioned C. Lemon and then Terry Power. Many people are experimenting with new materials that may work like leather, either recycling or creating new out of sustainable sources like mushroom and fungi, etc. Have you tried anything like this? And yeah, fungal leathers.
No.
It seems like something interesting to me.
Pineapple leather that actually smells like pineapple.
No, I'm not so innovative. No.
then Carla Jean once again. Here one can find all leather purses in their sales stores to make small books. At least it's repurposed. Well, that's a sort of reasonable approach to at least to recycle the old leather products. Well, they are already produced, so why not?
Old bags or the old.
When I was starting bookbinding, I used tons of old leather jackets and purses and all that stuff. And Well, it worked pretty well for me, so why not? Then Timothy from Vietnam joins us.
Hi, Timothy. Haven't seen you for a while.
And it's late in Vietnam now. Hello, my dear Bep, Timothy writes, and thanks for joining us at such a late time. And I guess that's it for now. Again, if you have any questions or comments or ideas or, I don't know, advice, recommendations, please post them and we'll try to read them or answer the questions. And let's continue with the book.
Let's see the amazing book, yeah.
The Art of the Fold, Heidi Kyle.
Yeah.
And if you're, Pavel, if you're busy with links, Benjamin Elbold has did a video on YouTube about this book. And
I think they have it for sale at the Bookbinding out of the box web shop for European buyers. So I think they had it.
I would recommend it because it's she has a lot of wonderful structures. And Benjamin, I mentioned Benjamin because I couldn't find this book myself, but can you see it? It's the Fishbone book.
Yeah.
And Benjamin has made that, and he is demonstrating it in the video. So it's spectacular. You don't know what you're seeing. So go take a look. What I did make by Heidi Kyle is the spider book. Oh, this doesn't come. This is the spider book.
Wow.
It lays open
interesting.
Very flat. Do you know it? Do you know the spider book?
Higher?
No,
a bit higher? No. A bit higher? Yeah, nice.
This structure I haven't seen yet.
Yeah.
Especially when it's closed, it does look like a spider.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. If it's open, you see the legs of the spider.
Yeah.
And this is his body.
Yeah.
And you can do some embroidery on the
spine.
Some embroidery on the spine or not, whatever. And
I'd say that it looks more like a Spider-Man logo than just a spider. So for all Marvel fans, that should be the most favorite bookbinding style, I guess.
And I also make the secret Belgian binding, and I found out later that this structure was first invented by Anne Goy in Belgium.
Mm-hmm.
And Heidi Kyle apparently invented this as well, maybe with some changes. And she called it the secret Belgian binding. And I hope you can see it because it's a very clever binding. Kijk hoor, doe ik dat. Can you see this?
Yeah.
You stitch the front, the spine, and the back with a weaving stitch. It looks like this in the. Maybe it's not very clear. It looks like this in the middle, in the inside. I mean. And the paper I used is from a calendar, and those are all maps by a Flemish cartograph called Abraham. I lost his name. Oh, this is terrible. Abraham Ortelius, and he made with all the sea monsters. This is Iceland, by the way. You can see all the little sea monsters, and on the other side you can see the.
Yeah.
I know this map. It has the.
Of course you do.
In the north, in the North Pole, he has like 4 rivers and an island and fantastic beasts and dragons be here. Everything is great. Yeah,
it's lovely. It's
Siglinde Vollmann writes, "It's secret. Don't tell Beth."
That's a typical Siglinde act. Well, I use this as my travel journey because I traveled, not anymore, but I traveled a lot. And I want to show you something that I came upon. I thought, oh, this is something for you Russian guys.
Haven't seen it in a while, I have to say.
I haven't seen it longer. let's compare the notes.
Because we call it the red square.
Yeah.
But I understand that the Russian word krasnaya, I don't know if krasnaya also means beautiful.
Yeah.
So it was in origin called the beautiful square.
Yeah.
But because of the cathedral, the Basilius Cathedral, which was a bit pink red, it was called the red square.
And
do you have any thoughts of that?
and actually, it wasn't red either. Nor was the Kremlin wall.
Yeah.
They used to paint it white all the time.
So
well into the 20th century.
Yeah, before the revolution, it was always almost always white.
And Lenin decided that red was a better look for the red state, so now it's red. Yeah, it wasn't red.
I have good memories of Moscow. I went to the tomb of Lenin, and one of our company was sent back because he wore shorts, which was not allowed.
So it was a long time ago, I guess.
I was there when the first McDonald's was opened in Moscow.
1990. Yeah.
Yes.
I also was there in Moscow during that time.
Me too. What a surprise. We were both.
We have a lot in common.
Kilometer-long queues to the
we had to wait 4 hours to get to McDonald's.
Because there was a queue all around the block. And we started looking where's the beginning.
And nowadays there are no McDonald's in Moscow.
No, not anymore.
They left.
They were rebranded and sold away, and they are sort of. I don't know.
They're sort of there, but not really.
Yeah.
Well, never mind. Yeah.
This is all very sad. Not McDonald's, but the reasons for all of these changes. Anyway. Creative bookbinding.
Kyle. I'm going this is her flag book. I had to get this out of a box just so it's very little because I didn't have it in.
Iets hoger, denk ik.
Nog iets hoger,
yeah.
This is a well-known book. It's also in The Art of the Fold.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I made a little case for it. And that was Hedy Kyle. And now we are talking about folding. Oh, no. First is...
So deze.
Maybe you recognize this book as well?
Yes, for sure.
Alyssa Golden. You can see all the tabs I have in this book. It has been, not anymore, but it has been my Bible for many years. And there are all kinds of structures and things in it, which are very nice to make. She also has a blog. I learned to make the Jacob's ladder from this book. I can see if I can demonstrate it. These are the hearts, and I turn them into squares.
Yeah.
And now into hearts again. And into squares again. Long. And I made a longer one. I'm an avid moviegoer, so I do all the festivals as well. And this was a festival of old movies, The Lost Weekend and Double Identity. And this is also a Jacob's Ladder, but it changes from picture.
Nice.
There's a tutorial of this one on my Facebook site. I have a lot of tutorials on my Facebook site. If you're not on Facebook, you can't read.
You're losing so much opportunities. Yes.
And what about YouTube? I knew about your Facebook, but I only found your YouTube today. You have lots of tutorials there too.
Yeah. Mostly boxes though. on YouTube. I've got mostly boxes and demonstrations also of the Jacob's letters. Now, Alyssa Golden has also a blog, and this is a very well-known and well-loved structure she made. And this structure is called, wait for it, Flat-Lying Australian Reverse Piano Hinge Binding.
Flies of the tongue.
If you Google a book structure from Australia, then you find a tutorial. It's, let me explain it. The red you see on the spine is an accordion. You have, this is very well loved by artists.
Mm-hmm.
Here you have a double page. You make
a bit further away from camera. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Yeah.
You make a slit in the. You pull the accordion through the slit. I made 2 accordions, and then you have here an anchor piece.
A bit higher, Bep, please. A bit higher and a bit further away. You don't. Yeah.
You lock the anchor piece, the pages with the anchor piece, and then here's the next one. You pull the thing, and you lock the pages with the anchor piece. And if your work, your art, your painting or your illustration doesn't work out well, you can pull it out and put a new page in it. So that's why it's very loved. Here are all the anchor pieces.
Volgens mij vindt ze vooral jouw hoofd.
Mijn hoofd?
Ja.
Oké. Alyssa Golden. Here's another one. Do we have time? If we don't have time anymore, just
we do.
Say, stop it. Stop it. Do you know this one as well?
Just let me check the title. Woven. No, by the way.
And interlocking book structures. No, I haven't seen.
I haven't seen this book before. So
it's by Elizabeth Steiner and Claire Van Vliet, and it is free accessible on YouTube. If you type this title in, you can you get to the YouTube page where you can find this book completely. These two ladies are from New Zealand, I think. Yeah. Goed zeg. Yeah, New Zealand, and they use Maori themes in their books. It's all about locking and weaving, and I made a sing weave. This is this one. I hope you can see it because it's very. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Oh, it's so pretty.
Perfectly well. Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, so pretty.
So
how does that work?
This is the binding structure.
Here, these are these are strips, the red and the yellow. You weave them through the pages, and you lock the pages and the strips with a locking piece, a diamond one, which is black, and this one, which is gray. And so you weave through the pages, and this is apparently, I didn't know that, a Maori.
It does look like palm leaf weaving, like what they do with their mats.
Oh yeah.
Amazing,
isn't it? And she has lots of other amazing stuff in her book, so check it out, and it's free accessible on YouTube.
I posted a link where you can download the version.
Yeah. Yeah. Now this is the last that I have wanted to show you. Really podcast. Here, not some more books by Ruth Smith. Can you read it?
Yeah.
Okay. Folded Secrets. Did you know that? Did you know the Folded Secrets?
No. This one is new to me as well.
Ruth Smith, and she made 3 books. I have them all 3.
Okay.
About folded secrets. I'll show you later what it is. These are 2 ladies in the southwest of China. There are 2 minorities, ethnic minorities, the Dong and the Miao women, and they use these books. They made it out of the mulberry tree. The bus. What is that in English?
So it's the same material that is used for kozo paper or something like that, or for the Japanese paper.
The bark, the bark of the mulberry tree. Yeah. They make paper, and they make these books, and these books go from mother to daughter to grandchild, etc. And they save their threads and their needles and their patterns in it. And it's quite a thing in the creative bookbinding. Lots of people make them, and how to make them you can find in these books. And also she added in one of the books some Chinese drawings you can use. And I made 3, a medium one,
okay.
A small one, a medium one, and a big one. I'm going to stand for the big one. The big one is most what these Chinese women do. Oh, ja, ik kan het niet laten zien. It's there are all kinds of boxes. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Moet ik hem vasthouden?
Yeah. My assistant is holding it. There are all kinds of boxes you can open. Floop. And this one. And it opens like this.
Oh, that was unexpected.
It opens like this.
Wow.
And it opens like this.
Oh. So it's a fractal structure. Wow.
Yeah, it's a fractal structure.
Wow, indeed. Well, this was a lot of work, of course. You can see that. And I couldn't fold for several days, and my hands were like this. But anyway, I made another one. I think these Chinese ladies will laughing their ass off if they see these books we Western women made, because they do it very different. Here is another. Yeah, I can.
We have a couple of comments from Daria Bilder. Nancy Eckerly is teaching Zhen Jianbao workshop this weekend.
Yeah,
the forward books by Ruth Sarwano. But where?
Nancy
where is this workshop?
She has made some very beautiful Zhen Jianbao. That's the Chinese name, Zhen Jianbao.
In which country is the workshop? The main question, because
Nancy is in the US, in Michigan, I think. I don't know. Illinois.
Okay. I found it.
She'll comment. I don't know. This is the last one.
Yeah. Okay.
It is an extendable box. You can put the. This is a mini one.
Oh,
cute. So cute. Do you see it?
Yeah.
With the flower boxes and this and this.
A bit higher, please. Just a bit higher. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. That's pretty Christmas themed. So it's right for the moment, for the holiday season.
Yeah, that was not my intention, but okay.
Yeah, it happened this way.
I put it in the box.
Also, Sinterklaas is soon, so yeah.
Yeah. Sinterklaas. Okay.
Oh, Daria wrote that it's online in the United States, but well, online, I guess it's everywhere. If you are okay with the schedule. Also, Dina Patel, Chinese commented Chinese thread books. That's the other name of the style, or what? Yeah.
It's Chinese.
There was that's the last comment in the series. Book structure from Australia, interlocking book from New Zealand. So many clever people. I'm up to only up to making signatures. Yeah. Okay. I'm not sure about. Anyway.
I wanted to ask you. You've mentioned creative bookbinding people. Do you all people just know each other, or is there an association, a website, a journal?
No, we are all on Facebook. There are several sites on creative bookbinding. We are all on Facebook, and we read each other posts, and we comment, and we have contact, and it's very nice.
The first rule of the Creative Bookbinding Club: don't speak about creative bookbinding.
And who came up with this term? What's the story behind it? Because
I don't know.
I have to say I haven't heard it.
No, in the US it's called craft bookbinding, I think, and I'm a member of a Facebook site called Creative Bookbinding, so I assumed it was creative bookbinding. It's not a traditional classic bookbinding, and it's very broad. You can do so many things and so many, like the Jacob's Ladder or the Zhenjiangbao are all very different from the traditional bookbinding.
Carlo Jin posted on YouTube. Pavel, thank you for all the links. Super. Pavel is doing an amazing job today. He's just like posting links non-stop. Yeah, so he's even more busy than usual. So.
Well, do you want to know anything about from me, or want to see something more, or?
I'd very much love to hear what are your plans. Are there techniques that you want to try but haven't yet?
Yes.
Is there anything new on the horizon for you?
Yeah. Now, Stefan already mentioned I also make boxes, and I'm trying out a new box now with I'm not sure how to make it, so that's why I'm finding it out, and I don't know where I can find the information for it. So that's what I'm busy with. It will take a while, and then I post it on all the sites I'm a member of. And then everybody is saying, "But where's the tutorial? Where's the tutorial?" And I have to make a tutorial again. No, I don't.
By the way, do you produce all the content for social media and all the websites yourself, or does your charming assistant help?
My charming assistant, who's my niece, by the way, I'm her auntie, and we always go to Disneyland Paris together. And my charming assistant is making the films that you can see on YouTube and on Facebook.
And we are all very grateful.
Many thanks to your assistant.
Many thanks, Sarah.
So what else do we have here? Nancy Eckerly, the Zhenjiangbao workshop is for the Handmade Books Clubs this Sunday. Sieglinde Vollmann, thank you so much, Pavel and Bep and Stepan. Well, it's a pleasure to have all of you here, and Bep especially, of course. It was just a blast. And don't go anyway, because after this first part, we have something else to talk about printing and some amazing book structures and Tolkien news and a lot of British stuff. Yeah. So don't go away. We have the second part of our live stream prepared for you. So maybe we will just invite you again next year
and talk about the boxes.
And talk about the boxes and some other stuff, because I think it was quite amazing and insightful, and well, we learned something. Our viewers learned something. What else do we want?
Well, it was very nice to be here, though we had some little troubles in the beginning. We
just erase it from our memories. That didn't happen.
Okay, I'm out now. I'm out.
Thank you for being with us, and have a good evening.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
See ya.
We will never leave.
Yeah.
We will never leave. We don't know how.
Stepan?
I can
you could do that.
You can stop me. Stop me.
Yeah, I can do
because
that.
I will not go.
We will never leave. Oh, come on, sir.
Yeah. Okay. We're there, and now I need to fix.
And now we're cut in half, yeah?
Yeah, we're cut in half because, well, that's what we do. Anyway,
Are we still cut in half?
Yeah.
Okay, so are we about to be joined by Friedrich for the second part?
Yes, I hope so. Just talk a bit for a moment, and I'll check with Friedrich if he's ready to join us.
So for the next part, we are hopefully about to be joined by Friedrich, who's a regular guest, well, a staff member by now of ours. He visited an exhibition somewhere in Germany, I forget. I wasn't prepared to talk about it. And he's going to talk about some very curious machinery, like a famous machine printing on foil. And he's also about to announce a very interesting exhibition about an old printing master. And then, if we have time, I'll talk about what makes a Tolkien book stand out. Because we all know first editions can be expensive, but they're not the most expensive material out there. A very recent auction on Christie's showed that you can sell a mere letter to a fan for 5 times as much as the complete first edition. And we are being joined by Friedrich. Are we?
And yes, but without sound.
But not by Friedrich's sound.
Yeah. And I will have to...
Friedrich? Why is it never easy? Oh, foil, and he's also about to announce. And now I can hear myself, which I never like. About
what the fuck? What is happening?
And now your mic is off again.
Friedrich, are you with us?
You have to switch off the sound in Zoom.
I know.
Yes.
Yeah.
I just had the video still running in the background.
I really heard it. It was very distressing.
I understand that.
Okay, I had to fix some things on the fly with the video framing and all that stuff. So it was perfect that you didn't have sound because I had to do this anything. And what do we have here? Firstly, hello, Friedrich. Good evening. Nice to have you here.
Nice to see you.
Sorry, it was a bit delayed. I hope you have enough time for us to. Do you have enough time?
I guess we'll manage.
Okay.
We'll manage.
Perfect. So what do we have here? We have some comments for Bep, and maybe she will see it now or later. I'm not sure if she joins our stream right away. But from Dari Wilder, thank you, Bep. Your work is stunning. Bernes van Overbeek, super, Bep, dankjewel. Terry Power, oh yeah, is there a way to save the chat so the links remain active? I answered that over there. The chat will be available probably tomorrow. So the videos on YouTube are available right after the stream ends, but the chat takes some time to be processed, so it will take probably a day. and then the chat will be also available on the video on YouTube and on Facebook as well. All the comments, all the links Pavel posted both on Facebook and YouTube, so you can find the links on Facebook as well. Nancy Eckerly, thank you. What a wonderful service you offer to the paper arts world. A delightful talk with Bep. Bep was absolutely amazing, and we are so happy that we invited her. And we really hope to see her on our live stream in the future as well. And Veena Patel, next time I would like to join you when you go to Paris. Next week, I'm not sure what we have next week. Maybe we have some guests, maybe not. We'll see. But on the 14th, we'll have our traditional holiday special with several guests simultaneously. And we'll have some discussions about the passing year, about the bookish projects, about, I don't know, stuff. Maybe we'll drink some wine and celebrate this holiday season. So it's already in 2 weeks from now, so really soon. Anyway, I just wanted to remind you to check the links in the description. There are links to Bep's social accounts, and there are also links to our Patreon account. And if you have any questions remaining for Bep, you can still post them, and we'll pass them to Bep, and maybe we'll just answer them next time. If you have any other questions, you can also post them, questions related to what Friedrich will be speaking about as well. So what are you going to talk about, Friedrich?
Yeah. So first things first, my throat is a little bit sore just as of today.
Sorry.
But on the other hand, your mic is the most professional of all of ours.
Yeah. So I hope that I'll manage to talk about everything without my voice giving in. So, okay, first point, I wanted to talk about like book and print fair I went to in the beginning of November this year. It was in Frauenfeld in Switzerland, so in the German-speaking part of Switzerland, somewhere between or somewhere close to St. Gallen, I think, which is like close to the Bodensee, this large lake.
Mm-hmm.
And so the Handpressenmesse, which is Handpresse is a term which is also used in the book arts history as the movement of German book artists with the beginning of the 20th century.
Mm-hmm.
So where you had like the artist books and the arts and crafts movement, for example, in England, you had the Handpressen in Germany. And so this term for Handpressen, for like well-crafted and like artistic books and prints, there's the term Handpressen in Germany. And the Handpressen are usually the publishers. So even today, certain book artists publish their work as a Handpresse.
Mm-hmm.
So at this fair, there were around about 50 exhibitors in 2 halls, and the fair takes place every 2 years since like 30 years. But with Corona, there were like a change of schedule, I think somewhere. Was a lot of talk about that during the fair.
Do I have to show some photos or something?
Yeah, you can show the first 2 photos that I've sent you from the fair itself.
Yeah, let me
do
the final preparations as usual.
Yes.
Where was the fair again? Because I haven't caught it.
In Frauenfeld, Frauenfeld. Translates to women field.
Frauenfeld,
Pavel, you studied German. What's happening?
I can sort of understand it, but You know how it goes. And what's the fair's name? I want to find the link, but I can't.
So in short, it's HPM Frauenfeld, which stands for Handpressenmesse, which translates to hand press fair.
Okay.
Here it is. Yeah.
I have a problem with streaming. Just a moment. Just a moment. Let's try again.
So it's in Switzerland, right?
Yeah, and the website is...
Yeah, I found it. Yeah, I have it. Yeah.
Buch- und Druckkunstmesse.
Was this your first time?
Yes, it was my first time there. Oh, and we're here. Yeah, it was my first time. So I was...
Friedrich, maybe you can share the images, because I have some technical issues, and I think it's either our heads or images, and that's...
Let me check for the folder. This is the folder. Yeah, so it was my first time there. No, this is YouTube. It was my first time there. So usually we are there with our university. So I went there as a member of my class, the book arts class of my university. And where is the option here? It's the green one, of course.
While we're waiting, I should probably add that I'd ask our viewers to like and share the videos, because, well, obviously, if YouTube sees that the videos are liked, and also subscribe to our account on YouTube, because when YouTube sees all these activities, it shares the video a bit wider, and well, also want some more publicity, obviously. Why not? It's fun and good for us, but if we have more viewers and more visitors, it makes our live streams a bit more live and a bit more fun.
As today, this was really fun. Yeah.
This was quite great.
Yeah.
But anyway, now we have.
So what is this space? It's a nice, spacious, well lit room with a really strange roof. What is it?
So it's part of, I think it's just part of a former like is it just called Fabrik?
Well, yeah.
Factory.
Yeah, factory. Yeah. Oh, I hate words sometimes. So yeah, it's.
You prefer letters, not full words.
Yeah. So especially like switching from German to English, and sometimes some words also goes to the other way around, that I don't know German words, only the English ones, which is really strange while talking to my family. Anyways,
when I was teaching bookbinding, I taught myself bookbinding based mostly on English tutorials and English books, with a single exception. And all the time when I started teaching bookbinding, I was talking to my students, and like, sorry, I don't know the word for this object or this part of the book in Russian, so I'll name it for you in English. Well, just look it up if you want.
Yeah, that's such a shame that there is are so little resources on good dictionaries for several languages where you can translate terms, let's say from Spanish to English to German to Russian, and name a few other languages. So few resources to have really comprehensive information on this.
And especially in bookbinding, yeah.
Yeah. So this place is called Eisenwerk, which is an iron works. It's a former factory, and it's a place where different cultural events take place, such as this book fair. So, and being a former factory has like this special roof structure. They even have a certain name for it, but I forgot the term because I wasn't expecting that you would ask me. Yeah, so even the shape of the roof and the windows have a certain term. And during the time at the fair, the windows were opened occasionally to let new air in. So they are all electronically controlled. And yeah, so there were 2 halls. And it was a nice atmosphere. As I said, about 50 exhibitors were there. Also, there was some big machinery, like or like big medium-sized machinery, like a linotype typesetting machine, book printing press, like this almost Gutenberg style, but these made from iron. And like some people printing stone prints, stuff like that. And it had a really for several or with several exhibitors, it was a hands-on approach. So people could try out, could print own motifs, even had the ability to cut own little lino motifs and print those.
Is it worth coming there if you speak English and do not speak German?
That's a good question, because another question would be, is it worth going there speaking German? Because the Swiss dialect is notoriously bad to understand.
Interesting. Okay.
So sometimes, like, even when they
today we are throwing shade everywhere. Just
there's no shade. Schweizerdeutsch is is it even German? I know it's supposed to, but it doesn't sound like German.
It is German. It is even just a German dialect, but it's hard to understand. And you could see that if someone talked to you and you didn't understand them, you had the issue of them like noticing, oh, all right, you're from Germany, I'll switch then. And then they started speaking like the common German language, but still with a tint of Swiss dialect, of course. And so some words just were really weird to understand. And when they got really talkative, then they sometimes just switched back into dialect, and it was like, oh yeah, of course, I totally understand what you're talking about.
Yeah, but it is Switzerland, so basically everyone, including old ladies, really old ladies, speaks English. From my experience,
a lot of people spoke English. I also saw a bunch of visitors who only spoke English, and it seemed like they had good conversations there, and didn't feel like they couldn't really have any contact, any engagement with the people there. Like basically everyone could speak at least a little bit of English to talk about their craft, to talk about what they were doing there.
Oh, I remember getting lost in the mountains in the middle of nowhere, and coming upon a farm with, I'm pretty sure, no electricity, that kind of old school farm, middle of nowhere. And a 90-year-old lady spoke perfect English. It was such a big surprise. I mean, I was almost ready to ask a cow a question and get an answer by that moment. So tell us about who was there. What were they selling? What do you like? What?
So there were. What was nice to me was there were a lot of, not necessarily just as exhibitors, but also as guests, professional bookbinders, whom I haven't talked in, at least in person, in a long while. So it was really nice just having a conversation about the craft, about some just certain aspects of it, like looking at books, talking about them, how are they bound, how well are they made, but also like engaging in conversations about more creative book structures, just like we saw before I came on this podcast today. So I had a good conversation with a woman. I don't have her name at hand right now, who is a professional calligrapher and who still studied it and got a diploma as a calligrapher in Mainz in Germany. After she did her diploma, the class was done for, basically, because the professor had to leave the university or just abandoned his post anyways because of his age or so. I don't know the circumstances of that, but she was like basically the last one who got a diploma. And since I'm also, in me being a book artist, I'm also part of a calligrapher, so we had a really good conversation there. And she has these huge books that she makes with like she cooks plants and the paper, so she gets all the color out of the plants and then she presses them together so that you have like this nature print from the plants but with the color from the plants. And I don't really know where I have. She gave me a card of hers, but I don't know where it is. Otherwise, I could show some of her work. Well, maybe another time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there was a paper mill from Basel who sold handmade paper and also like marble paper.
Just not related to the museum, just random paper mill from Basel.
Well,
another paper mill from Basel. I don't think that there's more than one. That's probably their paper mill.
They maybe just have also a museum at their and they still make paper. So, and then there were
you told me that you had some discussion about paper making with somebody from Basel or something like that.
Yeah. I talked to one of the paper makers there, and we had a talk about your 3D printed molds. And he was really interested in those because he also dabbled a little bit in 3D printing, especially for watermarks, because like making those from metal or like from copper wire or so is kind of tedious, and sometimes they deform or so.
And you don't really need to if you have classic metal mesh paper molds, you don't really need to 3D print the whole molds to get a watermark. You can just print the watermark itself, and you can put it on the traditional paper mold with wires as it was done with traditional watermarks. So that's also a solution.
That's what he did. I think also because like it's a good way and in a way affordable way if you already have a 3D printer, I guess, to make watermarks quick and rather cheap, instead of having them like cut from metal or so, because there you need other special machines, technology to do so. And so he dabbled in that. And
I hope you will connect us somehow so we can talk.
Yeah, more. I hope so. I hope so too. I gave him your contact.
Okay.
He didn't write back to me, but they were busy doing other stuff after the fair.
Okay, so we'll see. We'll try to find out what's happening.
So and he kind of was doubtful about the ability to print to completely 3D print paper molds, because he just thought like that the material probably was too brittle to do so. And I guess he also made some experiments in that regard, and he basically failed. So
I failed so many times before I got passable results.
So and yeah, I also talked told him about like the different patterns that you have achieved doing so, and that was a really, really nice conversation. We talked like on every single day, like 2 times or so about this. I also asked him about the ability or the possibility to set up a known small workshop, like how to make for example, an affordable press to press the paper after making it, so that you get all the water out.
Yeah, that's always an important issue. That's true.
Yeah, so that's also why I didn't start making my own paper yet, because like all the extra steps, I don't just want to start and then have a sheet of paper and be like, yay, it's wet and I don't know what to do next. So I have to prepare everything before starting this
that's smart.
whole process. So yeah, I talked to him, and then just not to talk about everything in too much detail.
I'll interrupt you for a moment. So I had a comment on Facebook from Never Miller. 2 other fairs about manual printing in Germany. It's Mini Presse. There are links, minipresse.de and
in Mainz.
And buchdruckkunst.com, and there are links there. And probably I'll just copy these comments from Facebook to YouTube so that other people can see them too. Thanks a lot for these links. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, so and then I saw a little machine which I found really intriguing, because during my apprenticeship I loved, whatever you call it in English, embossing, gilding. So and I used to work with the Prägnant, which is also produced by Schmidt, whom you visited.
And I understand it's pretty how do you say, widespread in Germany.
The Prägnant, yes.
Yeah.
Well, they have been making it for like what, 60 years?
Like every I don't know how long they're making it, but basically every single book bindery I know has a Prägnant or 2.
I have just been to the studio workshop of Jacek Tylkowski in Poland, near Poznan, and he also has a Prägnant in his workshop. He's absolutely happy with it, and it occupies a special place over there. So I've posted some photos from his studio, I think yesterday or the day before yesterday. Yeah, I think it was on Monday. Anyway, you can find them on our Instagram account or on our Facebook account as well. But I will post a video tour later this week, and there you will see this Prägnant as well. Not in a working environment, but just standing there very beautifully. There are lots of colorful rolls of foil on the shelf near it, and it's just a perfect setup.
But this is not Prägnant.
This is not a Prägnant, yeah.
Could you perhaps zoom in, because I can't quite see what it is? Yeah. Oh, thank you.
So first things first, to show a little something that I did, I'll end this for a brief moment. Let me check. how do I end this? I end this here. Just to show you a little something that I made with the Prägnant. This is a motif made from single letters. It's unfortunately a little bit.
Maybe take it a bit further from. That's better.
Yeah.
All right. So I made from cardboard a big circle and half of a cardboard rectangle. I cut out a half circle so that I could rotate the larger circle. And I glued the cover to it before finishing the book. And then I pressed each single dot and each single letter of this motif onto the cover. Separately, yeah.
That's insane.
So just to say, like, I really love this tool, which got me really excited for for this little machine here, which is
I think we have when we had our talk with one of our talks with Peter Garrity, whom we have already mentioned today before during this live stream. He also showed some of his patterns for stamping around or curved texts and something like that. So if somebody wants to see a demonstration of that, they can look for our talk with Peter Garrity on our YouTube channel, and then there you will find it. After browsing through probably 4 hours of our talk with Peter Garrett or something like that, because we recorded two podcast episodes with him, 2 hours long each. So sorry, once again, return to Friedrich.
Do you see my cursor in the?
Yeah.
All right.
Do you want us to see it?
yeah. Because I can I can
point
show certain parts of the machine. So it's a Kingsley stamping machine, or the company is called Kingsley stamping machines, and it's a sometimes called like Kingsley hot stamp or hot foil stamp machine. But just by Googling Kingsley stamping machine, you will find plenty of results. Although resources on how they really work are rather sparse. So this seems to be a model of the so-called first generation. I'll show models of the later generations as well. And here you have like the thermostat, where you and a thermometer that where you can see the temperature. I think it's probably in Fahrenheit. I'm not too sure. Like, I mean, it's not. While when we use this in Germany, I don't think that we go up to like 250 degrees, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. We just have normal numbers and not a thermometer. So yeah, so you can
normal numbers. You mean 1, 2, 3, or just or
yeah, just like these.
It's always like when my mother-in-law says to me how to bake something in the oven. She's like, you put it on 3 and set it for I don't know, 20 minutes, 40 minutes or something. And I'm like, I don't have 3 on my oven. It's I have to choose 180 degrees or something. So what should we do now?
Yeah, then we had like these. I mean, I think like back during my apprenticeship, we had like this information about these about the foils and at which temperatures they usually the glue dissolves, which was like, I think at like 60 to 70 degrees or so, Celsius, that is. So in my estimation, that would be like, but I mean, I can be totally wrong, just to know that, because like I'm working from like deep lore memory here.
I don't really know this really well, but you also need to keep in mind that you don't want to burn the leather. You don't want to burn the foil because it can start melting at some point.
Yes,
and
you don't want to burn the paper or so, whatever you're printing on.
So high temperature isn't really working for all of this stuff. But if there are any printers over there in the comments in watching our live stream right now, please tell us about the temperatures and what's that up to 300 degrees on this machine. So yeah, it really sounds a bit too much.
Yeah, to me,
extreme.
To me, it sounds like Fahrenheit or whatever, but not Celsius.
Fahrenheit a bit too much too.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. Maybe it's just a measurement they take. So there is, I'll show a screenshot from that later. There's also a promotional video available on YouTube. So you could check that out. I'll write the title of it or put a link into the YouTube chat later when I'm done sharing my screen. Or maybe you can find it. It's like something, I guess, from the late 80s or early 90s. So yeah, this little machine, this looks like from the first generation. You can see that by the cord, which or the cable, which has like which is not made from like plastic or so. And this little table here where you put whatever you want to hot stamp on. And this was originally made for stamping on, as far as I know, for stamping on fountain pens.
Okay.
And
interesting.
There's also like a fountain pen company called Kingsley. So maybe those two companies at some point went separate ways. These first came up in the 1930s. And during the war, the Second World War, they were used to hot stamp on some wire parts in the aviation industry. So I think, like, as far as I understood it, I wasn't familiar with the terminology. You used to stamp on thin gauges with this, where several cables met. So probably to just know which cables meet here. So that's what they were used for, and they were further developed into automated machines, larger ones at that. And during that time, those small table-mounted machines were started to being used by bookbinders in bookshops or at religious shops where you could imprint your initials or your name onto the cover of a religious text, let's say your Bible or your songbook, what have you. So yeah, I have to zoom out. This is an overview over the nomenclature and description of the single parts of the machine, but this is a model of the second generation. This one is the there are holding springs. So as far as I know, this one around this, the foil is winded up, and back here you put in the unspooled foil, and during each stamp the foil is pulled forward a little bit, which you can adjust here, how much by how much, because like on the amount of either the size of the font you want to, or the motif you want to stamp, or the amount of lines you want to stamp. And these are type holders of different types: 1-line holder, 2-line holder, 3-line holders. So the basis of this machine, as far as I understand, remained through all the generations with some changes, because you can't use every type holder on every machine. Each model has like some tweaks about it that make them a little bit different.
So standardization is important.
Yeah, but I guess like standardization didn't really apply from the beginning with these machines. I mean, like
it was invented. It was invented later.
Yeah,
and also this is an American machine. They prefer to patent everything and everything to be unique. If it wasn't made in Germany, there would probably be a standard.
The DIN norm.
Carlo Jean just posted, my grandmother's sewing machine was a Zinger from the 1920s. I love the superb workmanship of these old machines, and that's absolutely true. And but the other side of this is that I just watched a 4-hour video of a guy rebuilding a workshop he bought, and the workshop was full of 100-year-old woodworking machinery, and these machines are really beautiful, and they continue to work even 180 or 80 years later after they were made. But all the wheels, all the gears are out there, and you can just lose your hand by suddenly putting a sleeve of your shirt into one of the gears or something like that. No safety, no protection, no nothing. So that's not about Zinger machines, of course, because they are quite sleek in that way. But some other machines are really, really dangerous.
This is also a thing. The large paper cutting machines that you have the book binderies. In my former where I did my apprenticeship in our workshop, the machine we had was built in, I think, don't let me lie here, I think 1967 or so, which isn't too old, would be like around 55 years by now. But it wasn't built with like in today's machines you have like this to start the cutting process you have to use both thumbs pushing at the same time. And this machine had a similar mechanism, but it didn't matter whether you push those without not within sync. So two people could push those, and it's a third, and the other person could like still maneuver on the book you wanted to cut, and just lose some fingers for funsies. And there also wasn't like these light borders that force the machine to not work while you cut. So I worked on a couple of those machines who just had to being adjusted. And the machine I started working on didn't have like this light border that just doesn't work if there's a hand or some object blocking it.
It can be really scary sometimes.
Well, scary, but also really frustrating as soon as you start working on a machine that has like these mechanisms, because
it prevents me from doing my job.
Well, I was so used to like just really getting in there, like looking like, okay, is everything in order here? Like, does nothing like is pressed too hard or in a weird way? Is there maybe still like some wire from a magazine or so? And just like really double checking, and all the machines that I worked on later just then didn't cut. So I had to get back and like, all right, standing straight up, and then finally I can do my job. So but with this machine, it's like, I mean, it's the size of a small dog. to go into probably American measurements here. So it isn't too big. Like you could just put it on every desk imaginable, basically. And yeah, so here these are also from the second generation. They were mostly used to stamp on business cards, for example, or invitations, or napkins or so. And they had a bunch of different, let's say, accessories that you could use for different jobs. Like they have special gauges for making your stamps on Bibles or on napkins, so that you could have these like in this 45-degree angle. And this is a schematic from the type holders.
Could you zoom in a bit, please? Could you zoom in a bit? Because
yeah,
can
we good in there. Yeah, and there's also so you had these the way you could set them. The type had so with the normal lead type, you have like usually one of these little cuts in it to suggest which way around you hold it, and also to see to which basically to which font the single letter belongs, because each foundry had its own way of marking these. So even if you have like let's say Garamond or Helvetica from one foundry, it isn't necessarily exactly the same as one from another foundry. They can like shift a little bit. So these little cuts, or, yeah, let's just call them cuts for now.
Indentations? Indentations, you mean?
Yeah, like these little
grooves.
Grooves. Yeah.
There should be some professional word for that, I'm sure, but yeah.
There is, but like yeah, you only notice this as soon as you start talking about it in a different language, that you don't know everything that you need to know. So, and these are special because they had like two grooves on one side and one on the other, so that you could set them in one direction and in the other direction, which then was because you had like this in these machines, you have a certain space you can't go beyond because of its construction. Let me go back here. Here. So, I mean, you can't go beyond this point. So let's say this would be like 15 centimeters or so.
Oh, okay. So if it's a long cover or long board, you may want to rotate your type so that you can access it from the other side.
Example, yeah, that's what that was for. And also, if you have like larger invitation cards or so, then you could just rotate the type by setting it a different way, because the type holders just went in one direction. Like you have like these two things, and you had to put them in one direction. That's why you had to be able to set the type in two directions. And the letters, so the type wasn't made from lead, but from a little bit sturdier alloy. I don't know.
Well, sure. If the temperature is 300 degrees, the lead would just melt. That would be a doozy.
Yeah, exactly. So theoretically, you can, because these have standard type height, so you can actually or theoretically use lead type or the brass type which is used like with the pregnant or so, or just like with by in hand tooling. You can use those, and the guy I talked to at the fair who had this machine also used lead type, not lead type,
but
brass type.
okay.
Yeah, brass type. Maybe he had some of these types too. I don't know.
Talking about temperatures and stuff, we have another comment on Facebook from Neveris Miller. The scales usually go up way too high on stamping presses, like the tachometer in my car that goes way higher than the car will ever go. I don't know, by the way, what's the term for tachometer in English practice or in American, but in Russian it's also called tachometer, so it's quite okay for me. But anyway, the gauge definitely goes much higher. We just rented, we just were upgraded in Warsaw and got a bit better car that we ordered, and so the maximum speed was marked as 260, and I was like, oh, we are going to Germany, at least I will try, I don't know, 220 or something. It didn't go faster than 180, so I was a bit disappointed with that. It's just a bit too far, from 180 to 260. But anyway, I think usual hot foil temperatures are somewhere a bit more above 100 degrees Celsius. And for handcraft bookbinders, it's mostly experience with their own machines. I've met a binder who uses a soldering iron and puts historical hand stamps into it. Interesting. The soldering iron goes into a stand of a drilling machine, so he has kind of a press, many ways to do blocking. That's a creative approach.
Yeah, that's also interesting.
Speaking of scary machines.
Yeah, so, and this type came in different sizes, and these were basically followed the standard of normal types, so like 18 point, 12 point, stuff like that. And you had like these boxes, and this is a whole setup. Several boxes, a machine.
Looks really nice. I'd like to have this in my collection.
Yeah, it looks really goddamn nice.
And also I can see a young lady using the machine.
Yes.
And that is a bit surprising for what, 1940s, 1960s?
Not really. Stamping was done by women quite a lot, as far as I understand.
Oh, and it was marketed towards women. That is what surprises me.
Well, basically, this machine was marketed to
the owners, yeah.
And within those companies, it was used for what's it called? Like all the accessories, like business cards and invitations and paper with special heads, or like even stamping on pencils or so. Stationaries.
Yeah.
Stationaries for your company. So, and this job would have been done, I guess, basically by some sort of, not necessarily a secretary, but like a female assistant, especially like in the 40s, 50s.
As you probably may remember, Pavel, when we talked to Kathy Abbott, and she shared her experience of working in a trade bindery in England in 1980s, women were sent to a separate room where there were sewing books. So if you are selling a sewing frame, probably you will advertise it with a woman sewing books. Because, well, that's supposedly what women do in bookbinding, according to those people. So I guess if this process was also done by women, that's whom they placed on the marketing materials, and then the buyer, person who is in charge of buying machinery for the company also sees it's quite normal because, well, that's what it is. Which looks really wild from today, of course.
Also, in terms of bookbindery, if you look at old bookbinding manuals, I know one which is sadly not available online, but from a great bookbinder, a great German bookbinder, Paul Adam. You can find like one manual from him, also like on archive.org, but not the big one. And in it you have, if I remember correctly, in it you have illustrations of women on different machinery in the bookbindery, and also on old photos from like the so-called Großbuchbindereien, like just like large bookbinderies. So basically like some sort of pre-industrial bookbindery, because like you had like some industrial machines, of course, but certain steps didn't have machines, like collecting the sections to be like sewed together, or so. And all these little steps were done by women. So you have like these factory halls filled with women doing these jobs, like on tables that could rotate, where like each part of a section was put, and then like you collected them.
I'd very much love to see that book if you can find it, and send me a few photos later.
Yeah, I can do so. And I don't know if I can like find photos, but like at least the illustrations. I have a couple of photos there. Maybe not today, but maybe tomorrow.
Sure.
Yeah, so a lot of the work there, also in bookbinderies, was done by women, and in this case, stationary equipment was also produced by women. I don't know what scope these machines had. I guess, as far as I understand it, they were pretty famous for a time and pretty well used. I mean,
I think Mad Men had a scene with the secretary stamping
maybe
their own visit cards. Yeah, business cards.
So yeah, and then here we have another image, a larger one, of a 2-line type holder. And a small box containing several boxes, which I think this looks just so nice.
Yeah.
That's why I wanted to show it. Like,
how big is it? Well, it's so cute.
I don't have exact measurements of this.
Oh,
but
I think it may be 10 to 15 centimeters wide or something like that. Yeah. Yeah. No, wider.
Maybe like I would say like 20-ish centimeters wide, and like maybe 25 or 30 in height. Yeah,
if I see one, I'll alert Stepan to it, because clearly that's a thing that needs to be had.
I took these photos I took from I guess eBay or so. So there are like still a bunch available. Some of them are, because maybe they just make the rounds right now, are pretty expensive. So I guess you would almost be better advised to just buy a Pregnant, which in some ways is better because it's made for bookbinders and not just for stationery. But I think the guy I talked to, he told me he bought his not necessarily with the type for it, but his machine he bought for like, I think, 300 euros or so, which is pretty cheap. And like also, if you have to do some work on it to restore it, maybe you have it like with, like, let's say 500 euros or so, which would be way cheaper than buying a Pregnant. And I mean, of course, it's way lighter. It's now speaking like in the case for someone who wants to have his own small private workshop, then this one is, I think, preferable to a Pregnant, although I love the Pregnant and I will defend it with my very being. Yeah, but this is a neat little tool, and I was really amazed seeing it. This just is a really blurry example from the
stamping an owner's mark.
Yeah, and from it's a still from the video I told you about, and I think that's about it. Yeah.
I think we'll that will be the end of our live stream today, because we have already overstayed our standard format by 20 minutes, and we still have. It's good that we always have more things to talk about, but it's a bit upsetting that we have to skip some topics and well, whatever. Friedrich, will you be able to join us next week? What's your schedule?
I think that would be possible.
Because then we can talk about this exhibition you wanted to talk about.
Another
and
thing.
I'll finally talk about Tolkien material.
Yeah.
It's my second time that I can't talk about it. I'm outraged.
I can talk just to show one photo of what I wanted to talk about, which I forgot to mention. A special library in Switzerland, which I also visited. I kind of totally forgot that I visited it. And while looking for the photos of the Kingsley stamping machine, I found a photo from there, and it was like, shoot, that should be something we should be talking about.
Okay, one more topic for the next week.
Yes, this one, and I will keep the talk about, or I guess we could keep the talk about the talk I went to at the museum here in Leipzig, relatively short, because we can talk in more detail about this exhibition when it started, when it's over, or when it started.
When it starts, yeah.
So next year, in the beginning of next year. So maybe I just like announce that it will happen, and the details, because if people want to see it, we could mention it.
Okay, so for the next week, exhibitions, libraries, Tolkien material, maybe something else. Probably we won't invite anyone besides Friedrich next week. Also from Carla Jean in San Jose, California, the Bay Area Printers Guild holds its Bay Area Printers and Way Goose Fair on the 29th of April 2023. And I think we mentioned Ivan Gulkov, and was on our podcast a couple of years ago. He mentioned this fair, this event, and told us some interesting stories about it and about the traditions of printmakers or something. So once again, if you want to watch it, you can find Ivan Gulkov's talk on our YouTube channel. He's a hobbyist printer from California, and Pavel has posted something else, and
I've reprinted the comment from YouTube to Facebook, or vice versa.
The other ways around, yeah.
Yeah. So Nevris Miller says that you can find many of Paul Adams's books as reprints on Finds Mundi, and she gives a link where you can find them.
Okay.
As far as I saw, the quality isn't the best, unfortunately.
No.
The scans are like a little bit.
Well, better than nothing, I guess. Yeah. And Daria Wilber, thank you. Very enlightening. As usual, thank you everyone who stayed with us. It was funny because I'm watching the number of viewers constantly. That's just how the live stream area is designed. And when Bep left us, there was a bit of decline, but then it risen up again. but at some moment people started leaving. But it's long, 2 hours. It's a bit too long.
At 90 minutes.
That's what we do usually, but sometimes it works other way. Anyway, we'll cut this video into shorter pieces and post it on TikTok, so we'll have our views in the end. Never mind. Thank you everybody for watching. If you can press like, that will help us quite a lot, and subscribe to our channel on YouTube, subscribe to our Facebook page. On Discord server we have some nice discussions about book arts and bookbinding. We also have other social accounts, so subscribe to us everywhere not to miss any announcement. Many thanks to Friedrich for preparing this discussion for today. It was quite enlightening. And as usual, thanks to Pavel for being... I wanted to say a smart, but a widely knowledgeable person who always has something.
And also a fast search of links.
Yeah. Okay. Fast slinger of links. That's true. Carla, Jean, thank you everyone. It was interesting and fun. See you next time. We'll have something interesting as well, and in 2 weeks time we will have a very joyful holiday special with several guests. Thank you everyone. We'll stay for a minute or so while the stream drops, but yeah, that's it for today. Thank you.